Please stand with me and say the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No,
Okay, would you please hold the board?
I certainly will do the board. Frost,
Here.
no. Ben Joseph,
Here.
Childs, Corson, Moons, here. Tyler.
Here.
We're 4 tonight. You
Okay,
can count us. It's us.
and do we have any correspondence this evening?
None.
No correspondence.
No.
What is yours, sir?
Awesome, thank you. Well, I hope everyone has been well. Super excited to present November report, though I do wish that we had a full week off this year, so hopefully you guys can keep that in consideration for next year. Monday or Tuesday.
Noted.
The special.
You got the Wednesday off. This is the first
I guess,
time.
yeah. But my sister didn't have school Monday or Tuesday. She goes to Aptekissick, so. Anyways,
Just say it.
just some food for thought. Anyways, so
Be part of the special minutes.
Need a meeting to do it.
We have been up to a lot in our community. So this slide, we kind of like, there are two main things that I want to touch on. The first being a lot of our service clubs have been doing a lot of fundraising for our community. So Kiva Club, which essentially is a club that fundraises to support entrepreneurs in emerging economies. We've been doing our Kiva Challenge, which is essentially, some people say knockoff version of Giveathon, but starting off in September till like the end of October, have been selling products. And so I think I'm a part of Kiva Club. We've raised about like $3,000 to support entrepreneurs in emerging economies. So that has been some great stuff. Giveathon, as usual, has been going awesome this year. It's wrapping up, but a new addition that the NHS has created is the Giveathon Bazaar, which happens in the Wood Commons, where people that are selling their products can like set up stands like in the Wood Commons itself to like kind of get more business. And then our Key Club had their annual trunk or treat event where they had different service clubs from across Stevenson come. And so I'm a part of Catalyst, and I know we had a booth at Trunk or Treat as well. So it was a great opportunity for community members and people from different service activities to come together on that Friday evening. And this is the picture of the Key Club board. And then lastly, speaking of Catalyst, Catalyst had its first of 4 Snowflake events 2 Fridays ago. Snowflake is essentially a program where Catalyst students from Stevenson actually go into our feeder middle schools to educate them about like substance use prevention and staying away from like alcohol and drugs. So this is one that was pictured at the Daniel Wright Middle School, but then they're more like Woodlawn, Twin Groves, and Aptekissick throughout the year. So that's a really, really great program, and I think they had a successful event. In terms of building our community, our junior class board had their Halloween costume contest, which was like the first of its kind. Really great. I know a lot of my like junior friends were voting and stuff, and so these were kind of some of the contestants that were participating on Halloween. And in terms of Mental Health Awareness Week, organized by Peer Helpers, it started off that week on Monday with its Peer Helpers Mental Health Forum, which was super, super cool. I was there as part of the Vernon Township 708 board. We had a booth there, and it was a really, really good experience. They had an amazing guest speaker who talked about stigma. That was like the theme of the event, eliminating stigma. And then our Interactive Gamers Club had a Pokemon like trading event, which was also a cool part of kind of creating their own community. And obviously, November/October cannot be talked about without our wonderful World's Fair event. Super, super like awesome, like well organized, especially considering the fact that the PAC wasn't open for performances, so they got to perform the Sports Center instead. But it was still amazing to watch nonetheless. And these are just some pictures from different clubs that also were at World's Fair. So yeah. In terms of academics, a lot of our clubs and classes have been going on field trips. So pictured over here is our German 1 and Student Ambassadors Club, who actually got the opportunity to interact with the Hamburg German soccer program. So they came to Stevenson towards the end of October, and they kind of got to interact as well. Our personal finance students engaged in the Mad City Money Budget Simulation, so they had people come to Stevenson. I know our accounting classes took a field trip down to the city, and then Stevenson's Advanced Conversation and Culture Spanish taught like 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders about Spanish at their middle school. So that was our elementary school. So that was really great. And then Political Action Club, I'm part of this club. We organize our usual Petition Palooza event, which essentially happens the year prior to an election season, where we invite candidates from like all levels of government to actually be there, set up booths, and interact with students. And so we had like Ron DeSantis' campaign there, but also like Representative Dan Dittich, who represents our community here as well. So like all levels of government represented. And then as usual, Mr. Kaneen, who's the sponsor for this club, had like 3 different types of cake, one chocolate cake, one vanilla cake, and one like strawberry, I forgot, like some other type of cake that were kind of open, like complimentary cake for students to enjoy. And then victories, we had our Stevenson debate team participate in ICDA 2 at Stevenson and ICDA 3 last weekend, which were both very, very successful. They took 3rd place at the second ICDA tournament. And then our statesmen earned the All-Kempa rating, where they actually traveled to UW Whitewater in Wisconsin to participate and did really, really well there. In terms of athletics, so we had our student-teacher student-teacher pickleball tournament organized by Isaac. He's the president of the pickleball team. That went super, super successful, and I know a lot of like my friends went, a lot of the teachers that I have went. So that was a super awesome experience to kind of bridge those two, but then also, oh, you were there. Oh, nice. How was it?
It was great.
Yeah, it was. I heard it was really, really well organized, and pickleball is obviously a new upcoming sport, so.
It was so fun. Me and Mr. Lilydale got smoked, but it was so fun.
Yeah.
And no workers' comp injuries.
That's correct. We all walked out of there healthy.
That's all that matters, no knees.
Yeah, and then our spike ball tournament is also being organized. I did it last Friday. Once again, I got absolutely smoked, but it was still a really, really good experience nonetheless. And then some other victories. So this is our flag football champions, and then our girls flag football, they advanced to the state semifinals, but that went pretty well. And then our girls tennis team got 3rd in state, and then this is our girls swim and diving team, which got 2nd in state. So a lot of cool athletic victories there as well. And then in terms of performances, this is a picture from Legally Blonde. My co-FMP Haley was the lead in the musical, so my co-FMPs and we went to watch on Friday, so that was a really great opening night. And then at the bottom 2 is our orchestra concert that was actually held on the PWC turf for the first time, because I think the PAC was under renovation. So the pictures look really, really cool actually. I was blown away. And then our National Honor Society for Dance Arts had their monthly dance event where they explore different cultures and dances from different cultures. So this month they did a traditional indigenous powwow dance, which kind of delved into the cultural and spiritual significance of the indigenous people's dance. And so these are just a couple of pictures from that as well. And then I think our student council and I also wanted to kind of recognize the wonderful school board for all of your help, all of your contributions to help make our school experience the best it can be. And as we head into Thanksgiving season, we wanted to truly say that we are very grateful and very thankful for all of your help and support. And so I think so.
Yeah, we made little.
For the folks down here, just give them to Pia. Pia will take the ones for the people that aren't here.
Thank you very much.
Or those, and then we have the rest.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can leave the rest in the box and I can.
Oh, yeah. Awesome, thank you so much. It was great.
Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. You could go first.
Okay, so I'm Fareed Sophia. I'm the president of student council.
I'm Kate Hales, and I'm the public relations officer. for Student
I'm Nikki Gayen, and I'm the secretary of student council.
So we just wanted to tell you guys that we genuinely appreciate everything that you guys do for the school and our community, and that we rely on you guys, and we really appreciate everything, so thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we had a discussion, there was a school board convention over the weekend, and there were people from all over the state there. And I just want to throw it back at you, because one of the topics that came up was some of the events and how our students act and behave and how they present themselves. And I can tell you, speaking for every one of the people on this board, when we get a chance to work with you guys and we have different programs during the course of the year, we always walk away feeling like we're talking to these, 40-year-old adults. You're so mature, you present yourself so well, you make us so proud to be up here. So I just want to throw it back at you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And at that conference, actually, I went to a session on successful board meetings, and they were talking about like efficiency and different things, but they were talking about the importance of framing board meetings positively, and they asked like, are there any special ways that any of you start your board meetings? And I'm in a packed room, like sitting on the floor, so I kind of throw my hand up. And I said, we start with a student activities report. And they were like, from a student? And I was like, yeah. And all of these people in the room were like, oh, we've never heard of that before. And I was like, it is the best part of every meeting. So, yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we really value this. And we really value all of you.
Thank you. I also want to shout out Student Council. I didn't have a chance to add it to the presentation, but they organized an amazing fall week last week, I think, where we had apple cider and donuts, and different fall themed activities and food. So thank you guys for organizing that. And thank you all. Happy Thanksgiving. We were so grateful for all of your help. And so yeah, that pretty much wraps up the November report. Any questions?
It was really good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you want, you can hang around, or we can give you a few seconds to not listen to the business portion of the meeting.
Run.
We just peed.
There's
You're gonna eat it then.
Yep, you got a cookie?
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great Thanksgiving,
And to
everybody.
you too.
Thank you, you too. Do we have any visitor statements? No? Okay, then I think we're gonna start new business. And we do not have the ambassador to get tonight, right?
No.
My computer screen just went blank. Let's see, policy. Okay, so the first item is a change, recommendations for board policy on accounting and audits, which lays out the detail for the amounts, capitalized expenses and a couple of other details. Does anyone have any questions for Sean about policy? I guess I should ask for a motion first.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a first and second. Does anyone have questions for Sean about the accounting policy? Would you please poll the board?
Ben Joseph.
Down for everything.
Pretty much. Aye.
Moons, aye. Tyre.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Carries 4-0.
Okay, then we scroll down, we have the consent, or the personnel stuff, which will be on the consent. And that brings us to business.
So tonight we have just a couple of things to discuss. The first is every year, the district goes through an audit of the finances for the previous year. As part of the procedural requirements of the board does need to accept the audit. This year, I'm happy to report, as has been in the case in previous years, that there were no material weaknesses or significant deficiencies identified by Lauterbach and Amann. I will say that the process went a lot smoother this year than in the previous year. So both Brittany and I are very happy. There's still some questions that we have to continue to work on, obviously in the idea of continuous improvement. But we are asking that the Board of Education accept and file the audited financial statements for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023. And happy to set up a meeting with anybody if they would like to talk more specific about the audit at another point in time.
Let's start by getting a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Questions for Sean? So, I would like to invite them to come to a finance committee meeting.
Sure.
I think in the past often we've had somebody from the accounting firm come and do a short
Correct.
explanation, and I think it would be helpful
Of course,
for them to do that.
not a problem.
Okay. No other questions? Would you pull the board, please?
Certainly, Ben Joseph.
Aye.
Moons, aye. Tyre.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Carries 4-0.
Okay, moving on to the next, it is, if you believe it or not, it is that time of year to start thinking about how we are going to fund the 24-25 school year. And that is primarily through our tax levy for our district. Through some of our initial discussions and projections, what we do know is that the CPI for this particular fiscal year was at 6.5%. We would be capped at 5%. We know that our bond increased, our EAV increased by 7% this year, and that our new construction was $40 million, all high comparative when you think of the last several years. Based on that information and based on the existing contracts that we have in place, both with our teachers and support staff, along with some of our agencies that provide health insurance, other types of insurance, and then of course Sodexo, the ELC, a lot of our purchase services. We are recommending that, we are recommending an increase or increase in our revenue, to a total of $128,067,417. The first part in doing this is holding a truth and taxation hearing. That has to occur at our December meeting. So we are recommending tonight that the Board of Education set a truth and taxation hearing for 7 p.m. on Monday, December 18th of 2023.
You have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
You guys gonna be moving and seconding?
They're moving second, I'm calling the roll.
Right. So, okay. There was, I thought in the backup materials, it was like 100, the form that was in there was for 120. Is this just more detailed?
Correct, and this correct. This is, there's more detail in the form and there'll be more information forthcoming as well.
Okay. Any,
Scheduling wise, are we having a finance committee meeting between then and?
That's the hope,
Gotcha.
trying to get everybody's schedules together, but yes.
any other questions? Would you pull the board, please?
Moons, aye. Tyre.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Ben Joseph.
Aye.
It carries.
And Steve, I think the other question you were alluding to, that does include our debt service base, which is not part of the tax levy itself. But we have to, at least, because that's already paid for.
Gotcha.
That's why it's more money.
Gotcha. Okay.
The next item is also a supplemental levy to pay for the principal interest. This is simply just a first reading. We will provide some more information in our mid-meeting memo as well as discussion further. But the short answer is this allows us to levy amounts equal to what our debt payment would be as opposed to having used any fund balance. Also allows us to pay off our debt service a little earlier than normal. And then also there'll be more information and we'll talk about that in December. And then the last item is the summer of 2024 construction bids. They are currently out on the street. We are going to have a bid and we will be presenting the board with the results of those bids in December and asking the bids asking for the board's approval of those bids at the December meeting. And then lastly, you'll notice a slew of FOIA requests. I don't know what has happened, but they seem to be coming a lot more frequently. And I would just like to thank Pia for her help. Pia has been working with me and really kind of taking the lead on a lot of the FOIA requests and really kind of developing the answers for those and working with me to determine if we need to get intervention from our attorneys or not. So thank you, Pia. So, and that is all I have tonight.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions that Sean can answer about the consent agenda?
Just that, well, the supplemental tax, that'll be part of that discussion that we have during the finance committee meeting, okay,
100%.
gotcha.
Okay, would you poll the board on the consent agenda, please?
Certainly. Moves, aye. Tyre.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Ben Joseph.
Aye.
Consent agenda carried 4-0. So I'm reading about shrub oak.
Yes.
Why do they wanna know that? We don't know.
I think they are very interested in the process of Illinois school districts globally, sending students outside of the state for services, and how much districts are spending on setting them out of the state. So what I can tell you is that our student that is in fact at Shrub Oak is growing in terms of, I was gonna say growing significantly, but growing in terms of their education. The parents, there's regular communication. The parents, in fact, are very thrilled with the progress that their child is making, and continues to grow, and Tracy and her team are a big part of that, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shrub oak.
so then we have the informational report with the readings. Is Eric attached?
Yeah, I call that a scary view into Eric's brain. Those are the 5 things that he's thinking about right now. You can always tell what's on his mind.
It's usually AI.
Yeah.
Number 3 is the one that points out to me.
Yes.
It is interesting, I found it interesting, given all that you guys do to tell us about AI and different uses. I went to a program at the conference on ChatGPT, and they really didn't give us anything that we had not talked about or considered here already, so I thought that was kind of interesting. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Before we do, I have one, Pia helped us put together a little thank you. It is Board Recognition Month, so we again want to say thank you for all you do and the leadership you provide us, so we truly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?